I'm really starting to like cookies.
What a rush. I am very excited about that. You said so little. Cowboy romance is alive and well. What I got for Christmas?
There's a coloring book.
Hey friends, so the lore behind Buc-ee's is that we live where there has not been one in, like, I say as if there ever was one. There's straight up not a Buc-ee's. And it's this magnificent, it's literally just a gas station. But they have been building one at Amarillo for forever and it's finally open. So we, as part of our Christmas activities, we figured we'd go hit the town, look at some lights, then hit the Buc-ee's, then look at the lights. Regardless of the order. We started walking in and started saying very, very funny things, and I figured this is a perfect opportunity for the mini mic if I can find it. So, Merry Christmas. Update is definitely my purse, which is in the cart currently. So, whoops. We're doing well so far. Very well. I love a good stuffed olive. Not the jalapenos.
Eat it on some cream cheese.
Pineapple jalapeno. Okay. There's a... Yeah, with some cream cheese. That could be good. Apple cider jam. Oh, yeah. I want that. I think I'm gonna die, but I think I'd be interested in that. Update, we already ran into someone we know. These, elite. Those, less elite. Do you feel like the cherry or the roasted pecan is gonna be better?
I have no idea. That looks like pudding.
Give it a good sniff.
It smells like Fruit Loops. That's so strong.
The roasted pecan is rather strong. I'm giving the win to the cherry kolache. There's cotton candy. Oh no. And a banana pudding.
I don't like beaver nuggets. Yum.
Update, we found Grandma's Christmas present in the form of a Christmas candle. It's pretty good. I think Katie's gonna be really jealous of this time of year.
No, I was gonna say, how do you think she's gonna react to your Christmas present?
To my Christmas present?
To my Christmas.
Oh, she's gonna lose her mind at your Christmas present.
As she should.
As she will.
As she should.
Katie's gonna lose her mind.
Mm-hmm.
It's really good.
That I'm giving her.
Oh, what are you giving her?
You wanna know the secret?
I need that.
The secret is that Katie one time hit a deer with her car.
In my car?
In Jared's car. And Jared printed out a picture of the dead deer. And she put it in a picture frame that said, "My first deer."
I have a picture of it.
So that's Katie's Christmas present.
I have the time and date on it too, on the back of it.
Slay. Alright, did we name him?
R.I.P. dead deer.
May you rest in peace. We're going to look at clothes now. There's just left. Buc-ee's is kind of my thing.
The Buc-ee's steak? I would. I totally would. I would rock these.
Confirmed. She would. They have dog sweaters? I was all over here looking at the stress ball and there's... Could you imagine Oliver? Get out. Okay, Jera, will you point out to all of us which ones you have?
That's the one.
Just that one, she
I
says.
should get more of them.
Unfortunately, I have found B section. Yeehaw. The little cutting board is actually really cute.
Mm-hmm. I got one from New York job.
Oh. My dad says, Jera, as often as you mess up, you might need that. Now up on my solo adventure to track down my favorite burrito in the entire world. Thanks for joining me. I hear gospel music somewhere. Jared, tell us what's happening here.
I got a sandwich that I can eat later, so I can eat one of these. I don't know which one to get, though. Which one should I get? They're all the same, but...
Chicken or sandwich or what?
Chicken or chicken?
I vote chicken.
Chicken. That's chicken and fries. I have a chicken fried
Chicken and fries.
chicken fried chicken. And fried chicken sandwich.
Fried chicken sandwich sounds kind of good, though. I don't know what that sauce is, which I think you wouldn't like, but I would be intrigued.
But I've already got 2 sandwiches. I'm going to be sad.
You can always join us.
They got ranch over here.
Jared didn't get 2 sandwiches. Jared got chicken and fries in the sandwiches.
Okay. Well, we have to even it up.
As you should. Thoughts so far?
Hello.
Great thoughts.
What?
Great thoughts.
Wow, what a bunch. This is overwhelming.
What a rush. Essentials.
I think I'm really starting to like cookies.
I don't think I like buggies.
I think I'm really starting to like cookies.
Vegetables here the whole time?
Candy flavored pickle chips.
What? Okay, well, we're trying that. We'll report back. Update, Jared dropped the ranch.
I dropped my ranch.
I just told everyone you dropped the ranch. She's really upset about it, in case you couldn't tell.
My ranch. I dropped my ranch.
And in case you missed it,
I still dropped my ranch. I dropped my ranch.
Grandmom Mom said, why is she pouting? Jared said,
I dropped my ranch.
Mom said, there's a ranch on the ground. Sarah said,
I got my ranch.
update, Jarrah proceeded to spend all of Christmas morning throwing up, and we're 90% sure it was because of the ranch.
Merry Christmas, everyone. Woo! Merry Christmas. We got snacks for days. And several meals.
You guys, they're Christmas dinos.
Alligator.
I love the alligators are cute too, but look how ferocious he looks.
I wanted either the dinosaur, the alligator, or the pig, and y'all said no to all of them. It made me very sad.
It's big stretchy. I can't believe you wore your house shoes out here.
I've done it before.
And I'll do it again.
I'll do it again.
Oh. That was a heckin' angry. This one's chill. I just can't get over how many you have. You said so little. He's so pissed off.
in it.
Lucky you didn't get it on our slipper.
Do it again. Do it again.
Why is he being weird? You.
I'm not.
Want some gourd?
No, I'm good. I don't need any gourd.
Pigs are so gross.
When you go to buy 2, you come home with 3.
Oh.
When you come home with 3, go buy 3, you come home with 4. And then number 5 just wound up in the barn somehow.
It just, you know, got in. I guess we forgot to lock the door.
God, must have.
Hey, I like your shirt with the flag over here. It's very nice.
Yeah.
Where'd you get that shirt?
I don't know. Santa brought it to me.
Santa's a good guy.
I had a successful harvest.
You look like you just robbed a grave.
That's what I felt like. Sometimes better to dig up a body.
Literal dirt.
Yeah. Oh, that's metal.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't feed a pig that.
There's some rocks in here, but he's okay. I got dirt.
Literal.
When they say girls like to play in the dirt, literally.
What?
Girls like to play in the dirt.
Slippers and all. Slippers and all. Good dirt.
Good soup. It's
That's a Californian.
giving Hellbent by Lee Bardugo.
That's a Californian.
It's giving Hellbent by Lee Bardugo.
That is expensive.
Was it really? Oh, is he your national one or whatever?
My $350 ride.
Oh,
Yeah.
thanks.
So there's Californian.
Okay.
My doe Californian.
Yep.
My black buck Rex. My broken otter Rex. Who's a freaking
You don't look too broke to me.
butthead. And this is my Californian buck. Who's also $350.
Wow. This one's less Hellbent than the other one.
Because that one's a doe. Girl.
Oh, no. It's a she? Oh my gosh. I'll have to show you the picture of what that book cover looks like. It literally...
She's the only girl in the barn.
Really? Okay, queen.
All the pigs are barrows, which are...
Do you have a name for it?
No.
Might I recommend Alex Stern?
Huh?
Might I recommend Alex Stern? Or Galaxy Stern? For, you know, government name purposes? Sometimes I think I'm so funny. And you just don't get my humor. That's okay.
I don't read.
I'll explain it later.
Last book I read was Anthem.
What?
Yep. I had to read Anthem.
What is that?
I don't know. Some book for no credit English.
It's like...
By like Ayn Rand or something like that.
Ayn Rand?
Yeah.
Get out.
Yeah.
Get out.
I listened to the audiobook. I didn't actually read it though.
It's like... Wow, she's like a smart nonfiction reader.
I failed that test.
Period.
I made like a 52.
Period.
But I still don't have to take my semester final. So
Slay.
get out my barn. I gotta shut the door.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Last night we went to Buc-ee's. It wasn't the grand opening, but it was like our grand opening, which was a fun time. And we went a little ham, and it was actually a really fun random Christmas activity that we weren't really expecting. However, we then went and looked at some Christmas lights, but we brought my grandmother along, and I hadn't seen her in a little bit, so it was good to get to see her however she's going. We're doing like real Christmas today, so that way tomorrow in the morning we're going to go see my other grandparents, and then whoever is going to go see my sister in Fort Worth will then go to Fort Worth. Emphasis on whoever's going to go, because she babysits a kid who now apparently has the flu. And so we're like, yeah, maybe we're just gonna kind of like drop the presents and run. And so I think my parents are gonna do that, but we do have, you know, a litter of animals around here, and so I'm probably gonna stay at home and watch the animals, and then, which will work out perfectly because then on the 26th, my best friend and I, who lives like not anywhere near me, I'll get to see her. And usually Barnes and Noble has their hardcover half off sale on the 26th, so we'll get to go exchange our presents, go hit a coffee shop, and then go get some half price hardcovers, which I am absolutely thrilled about. I have a couple things in mind that I really want, but I also am just gonna kind of like see what my options are. And also this is assuming that they even do the sale this year because they never announce it until like Christmas Day. So if they end up not actually doing the sale, we're still probably gonna go to Barnes & Noble and just like have a good time anyways. But I am very, very excited. So that's the plans for the 26th. But then tonight being Christmas Eve, we are going to open all of our gifts for each other. I got some very funny gifts for people this year that I'm so excited to see the reactions to. So I am fully prepared. I'm fully ready. I don't want to like spill the beans too much because I know that there are people listening to me right now. However, I feel like we never do gag gifts in my house because it's like kind of a waste of money a lot of times. However, I got some funny things that are very inexpensive that we will may or may not talk about later when the presents are opened. However, my bestie McKenna did invite us to a church service in Amarillo, so we potentially, if we can finish opening presents, we might go to church tonight, and if not, we'll just hang around and watch Christmas movies, and it's gonna be a fun time regardless. But that's the plans for today, and then tomorrow morning we are going to wake up bright and early and leave our house at like 6 a.m. to drive to my grandparents' house. But it'll be nice because traditionally we always do like a Christmas breakfast situation, and this year we won't have to actually cook because we're just going to show up to Grandma's house and it'll all be done. I am very excited about that. I am also very excited about the presents that I got my Grammy because like same. I got things that I think are genuinely so funny, which they're probably not going to think it's funny at all, but like I think I'm funny. Anyways, we'll leave there pretty early and then we'll disperse to whoever's going to Fort Worth will go, and then whoever will come back to the house will just kind of like lay around and play with whatever Santa got us. Which I kind of already know, but like also in my family, if you don't believe in Santa, you don't get presents. So like I believe in Santa. Okay, till the day I die. So Santa's currently coming down the chimney as we speak, and I'm very excited to see whatever he's doing out there. I also still have not done my nails, which I was really supposed to, and I just have two missing middle fingers, which is so like gonna send me through the roof and not in a fun way. However, I'm kind of just vibing at the moment. I finished editing and I'm actually exporting over there my Reading Red and Green Books vlog because I have been like I've been really procrastinating editing. I had run out of things that I had pre-filmed, and then so I filmed a couple things, but by the time I had filmed a couple things I was like, wow, I've done all I needed to do, and then I still hadn't actually edited any of those things, so I had to edit like a lot of stuff still, but I ended up taking way longer editing that vlog than I thought it was going to be because I didn't realize that it was like 54 minutes after editing. Could I edit it down even shorter? Yeah, probably, but am I going to? Absolutely not. So I'm currently exporting that, so hopefully I can get it posted because it is a Reading Red and Green Books for 2 weeks. It's Christmas Eve. If I actually end up posting it tomorrow, it's still festive, but like also it is kind of time sensitive. Technically, I yesterday had plans to edit it, but then I obviously had to pack to come here, and then I just kind of lollygagged and then found extra things to wrap. But then I also, one of my book club friends, she had her gallbladder removed, I guess last Thursday, and it's just not been doing like super great. She has some other health issues that made that recovery very, very challenging, without getting too much into it. But she has kids and she had not finished wrapping all of her presents, and she was wrapping her presents like on the floor like 4 days post-surgery. So I went and helped her and got those things wrapped, hung out with her kids for a little bit, just kind of said hi, and then I eventually came home, finished wrapping all of the things. I don't know that I have fully talked about, but for Christmas, I've talked about a lot of things recently, and I've not actually edited a lot of things, so I'm like, I'm not sure. I know I've talked about it, but I don't think I've posted it anywhere, so if I'm talking about it again, so sorry. I for last year made all of those, well, I a couple years in a row have made some form of blanket for someone, and last year I made a tie blanket for myself, but then also my roommate, I bought her the fabric to make one. Are they my second cousins? What are the children of my first cousins called? I made them some tie blankets last year, and then my sister and my grandma also got one. So I was like a tie blanket making machine, but I didn't make my mom one. Now my mom had a large crochet blanket that I made for her like 2 years ago, but she really wanted a tie blanket, so I procrastinated making that. Also, I wasn't really home to make it for a hot minute, so by the time that I finally get home, I was like doing literally everything else besides making that blanket. So I like cut all of the fabric for that, and I need to finish tying it, which I'll do here hopefully in a minute. I did not bring any eyeshadow with me. Okay, we can make do. But I did bring eyeliner. We're solid. So that is all of Christmassy things. So this is actually the bedroom that my middle sister, I would say, grew up in. We moved into this house when I was 16. When we initially moved into this house, she moved into this one, and then I moved into a back bedroom. So then whenever I graduated, left college, that one's bigger. She took that room. Yada yada yada. So I'm currently in this bedroom, but there is a window right here, which is the front of the house, and so the dogs like love sitting on this windowsill. You guys know how Oliver loves to perch at the windowsill. However, Oliver likes to bark. Finley likes to join in. Benji likes to bark. So everyone's just barking. Some of the dogs are locked out of this room and they're all mad, and it's just chaos. Have you been here this whole time? So my parents has 2 Cocker Spaniels that look practically identical. I didn't realize Bodhi's in here. So I guess Bexley's left outside by her own. We've got Bodhi in here. And then mine. It's dog chaos and I freaking love it so much. Okay, so now that we've gabbed about all of the Christmassy things, I wanted to also gab about what I'm reading. I am currently now reading, is it Scrape the Barrel by, I have no idea who this is by. I'll obviously put a picture of it somewhere on screen. However, I had mentioned at the end of my Red and Green Books vlog that I really kind of wanted to just do a cowboy romance Kindle Unlimited deep dive. And wow, this is so hard without putting eyeshadow on top of it to smooth it out, and also this pencil really not being sharp at all. Sarah read this series, I want to say earlier this year, and has been just absolutely gabbing about how good it is. And as we know, one of my loves is cowboy romance, but I read Justin Springs, I read Off to the Races, I've now read Lila Sage's Rebel Blue Ranch series. I'm laughing that I brought 3 eyeshadow brushes and no actual eyeshadow, but it's fine. So I read all of the like super common popular ones. I read Holding the Reins earlier this year, but then I never really continued into reading other indie cowboy romances. I read Married to the Alien Cowboy, which like the more that I think about it, the more that I'm like, wow, that was so fun. When I actually read it, like it's not that good of a book, but I think it was just so fun. And the more that I think about it, I'm like, wow, that was fun. So I keep trying to put it on a favorites list, and I'm like, it wasn't really a favorite, but the experience was a favorite. So I don't know. Anyways, I keep saying that I want to read particularly this series, and I forget, is it the Bell Buckle series? Like the town is called Bell Buckle. So from the get-go, I was like 90% certain that book 1 was not going to be for me for a couple reasons, but I really wanted to read it still because I really wanted to read this series. The main male character is named Bailey. As we have found out from a couple books, I say a couple, I think it's definitely just Hopeless by Elsie Silver. I really hyper focus on the fact that it is Bailey, and I keep like, it just throws me off, and not in a fun way. so I was kind of mentally prepared for this book to really throw me off. And then I started looking at what the trope actually is, and it is a combination of like brother's best friend / childhood friends, and not my favorite tropes. This could be the most best written book literally ever. And the tropes in the name would still kind of cancel that out for me. So we're reading book 1 practically for research purposes in my head, and I keep telling myself that. And I think, honestly, it's working. We got a little POV from the male main character, and it's giving boy obsessed. And I think, surprisingly, I might be into it. So all of that aside, I'm actually really hopeful, but I also don't want to get my hopes up because just like, again, this could be the absolute best book in the world, but it may or may not be something that I like just because of the actual structure of it. And that's a fully me problem. Like, not everyone's named Bailey, and then also not everyone dislikes friends to lovers or brother's best friend. So we'll see. I'm gonna finish getting ready, and we will see what we get up to the next little bit. and we did not conquer, unfortunately. So I walked my happy little self down to the Amarillo Barnes & Noble. There weren't really that many hardcovers. And of the hardcovers that they had, I just like, I don't know, I wasn't really interested. And I was interested in some of them, but not enough to want to actually spend money on it. So that was overall kind of a bust. However, I really do like walking around this Barnes because their buyers in here, they buy so much more indie fantasy than the Lubbock one does, and so it's always interesting to see what they got. I was very tempted to get the Broken Bonds. They had the first 2 books in that series. I am kind of intrigued. However, I just like, I don't know, like it was fun to walk around, but also there just wasn't very much good stuff on sale. They did have Blackbird Oracle, what's the next installment / the new series or whatever of Deborah Harkness's Discovery of Witches. They did have that, and that was 50% off. That was one of the select ones, and I was kind of intrigued to get that, and I ended up putting it down because that one is in fact online, and I couldn't decide, and also I was kind of like ticked off. And why was I ticked off? Literally for no reason. I think the last couple of years I just like went crazy, and I was like, okay, I've got like $100. I'm gonna spend as much money as I want to, and then I would buy like a million books that I wasn't actually interested in just because they were hardcovers and they were on sale, and I was so excited to get them. And I'm just being very picky right now, which is awesome, and I'm very proud of myself for that. However, I also kind of was like, nah. So that happened. However, I do have not only a Barnes & Noble gift card, but also an Amazon gift card, and I am very excited to go do a haul. So I'm going to do some online shopping here in a couple days, and we'll see what I get. Anyways, so today is currently the day after Christmas. Yesterday we went to my grandparents' house, and I didn't film a whole bunch of that because there's a bunch of kids, and I just didn't feel like, putting children on the internet. However, we did that, and then we came home, and then my parents went to see my sister in Fort Worth, and they took my younger sister along with them, and I stayed home to watch the dogs. And also I was prepared to do this whole event today, which we'll get into here in a second. However, last night I was like, you know what, I could read like a little Christmas romance. I've got time. But like, what if I just read a cowboy romance? So I proceeded to finish spur of the moment. You guys saw I was prepared to dislike this book thoroughly. I liked it a lot. I think that the main male character being Bailey and not the female main character definitely helped my brain. Like, I still picked out the name, but it felt more so like I was listening to somebody else be named Bailey versus like myself. Which is an odd experience. If you've never read a book with a main character as your first name, you should try it because it is an experience. However, every time that a new little detail or a new little layer, a new little moment that kept popping up, I was like, oh, I love that thing. Oh, we're doing that. I love that. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Oh my gosh, there was a one bed scene. And it wasn't like as one bed as you would necessarily think it was, but I was giggling along the whole time. Bailey is very much so an access service kind of guy. Letty didn't necessarily notice him. She was pining after him, but she didn't notice that he was also pining after her, so she thought it was one-sided the whole time. And he kind of did too, but watching the two of them realize like, hey, we both really want each other, and also we have a shot at doing this without messing up our friendship. I loved it. So I was very, very surprised to read this book. So yet again, Sarah coming at us with a fabulous recommendation. However, me liking a book with a main character as my name, that's also like a brother's best friend / childhood friends romance, and I liked it. I know. I'm just as shocked as you are, if not more. However, I feel like this book very much so gave more childhood best friends as opposed to brother's best friend, but then it also gave less childhood and more teenagehood. Like, I don't know. It didn't feel like the flashbacks weren't as aggressive, and then the ones that were, they were more fun and more cutesy. Them being really close and like being friends, and it was very much so friends. Like, you got the friend vibe as opposed to just longing the whole time, which I do love a good longing, but also I feel like I get kind of annoyed because I'm like, okay, can we like get to the present, and then we're still like, I don't know, I can't figure out exactly why wild childhood best friends to lovers never really works for me, but this one did for some reason. And I think too, the fact that the flashbacks were with them being older, like there was one flashback where they were a little bit younger, and that was that. Like, it wasn't half of the book was them being kids. I think just a little splash of them being kids and then watching them now, And then I felt like these two characters had a lot of chemistry between each other. Like they had a lot of elements about them and a lot of things that they wanted and a lot of things that they did that really fit together well. And I liked it a lot. So cowboy romance is yet again alive and well. Do I think that I'm going to binge read the rest of the series? Maybe. I don't really know yet. It's a possibility. We will find out. But I do think that this book spent a good amount of time building up our found family situation. Like, we definitely do have a next set of characters. Reed gives very much so jerkwad vibes, but like also he did have, I was kind of ticked off at him for a majority of the book, but then he did have a really redeeming moment at the end. I was like, oh yeah, no, he's not that bad. He's just, protective. So I don't know. I don't know. The more that I sit here and think about it, I'm like, no, I definitely want to read it now. So time will tell what I pick up next. But also I feel like I don't have my tripod out at the moment. It's somewhere in this vehicle, I swear. But my phone is sitting up on my like dash, which means that I'm like leaning over like this the whole time. So I'm gonna go meet up with McKenna. She drove from her family to come to Amarillo, and she brought her mom with her. So we're going to go to a little coffee shop. We're going to exchange some gifts, and I'm so excited to see them. I miss Susan. TGYL. Beverage goblin kind of day. However, we went to Palace. So Palace is a coffee shop that was started in my hometown, and it was started when I was in high school. So we literally would just absolutely rot in that coffee shop, and it was so much fun because they used to have a peach tea that had free refills. So what we would do is we would buy a coffee, and then we'd buy this like $2 peach tea, and then we would sit there for hours and get peach tea refills, and it was great. They have now expanded to a couple different Amarillo locations, and I had not been to this new Amarillo location, which is not really new, but like it is new to me. And they have a garage that they can actually open that turns into like a pet friendly area. It was so cute. I got a honey badger latte, which is basically a honey latte, but it's made with honey from the Creek House Honey Farm, which is also a local honey farm, which is actually started by my ex-art teacher. So it was just cool to kind of pop around, see the things. We then went to a couple boutiques, and then we went to Burrowing Owl, which is a used bookshop. It was also started in my hometown. And then we went to a couple more boutiques that were not in fact open, but then we ended up going to HTO, and I got myself an almond green half sweet, half unsweet tea. So I did not end up buying any books today, which is a shocker. However, I need to go ahead and pack up my car and get all the Christmas stuff cleaned up and whatnot. So I wanted to do a quick what I got for Christmas because I did get a couple of bookish specific things that I am absolutely thrilled about. Starting off with what McKenna got me. I love her. But then she also got me an embosser. It is literally the cutest thing ever. I was embossing napkins at Palace. However, it does come in a little box, which is really cool, but we sat there for a good like 10 minutes trying to figure out how the heck to assemble this thing, and I was like, man, they really should put instructions on this box. Yeah, they put instructions on the box. Oh my gosh, that is perfection. I now need to figure out how to get this back into the box because it technically comes in two pieces. You have the actual like embosser bit and then like the handle, if you will, and then this goes inside this, which makes me wonder, can you just get like individual presses? But it took us an aggressive amount of time before McKenna's mom finally figured out how to put it in here, but you kind of just like, maybe I should stop trying to put this together again. Hello? Put it in there like that. But I disassembled it to put it back in the box, and I have no idea how it all fit in the box. Are we focused here? Not really. I'm usually never focused anyways. So thank you so much, McKenna. I'm so excited not only about the embosser and all of the fun that I'm about to get up to, but also I feel like this canvas bag is perfect. This is a very heavy duty LL Bean tote that like is very heavy duty, and I'm gonna put her to freaking use, my friend. And it's green. Love. Thank you so much, Ken. Her boyfriend Pal was also supposed to come with us, but Pal has the man flu. So Pal, if you're watching this, I hope you're feeling better. And also, sorry about your man flu. I did also, during my mom's side of the family, Christmas galore, my cousin and his wife gave us Buc-ee's beaver nuggets of the cinnamon swirl variety. I'm not a big fan of the regular beaver nuggets, but the cinnamon sweet, how about? It's actually really pretty good. I've been macking on these the last like day and a half. I'm realizing this light in the background is absolutely shiny, but you know, too late now. So thanks, Shauna McKenzie. I have found a new favorite that I'm gonna have to go back to Buc-ee's for. Speaking of Buc-ee's, the candied pickles were literally just bread and butter pickles. They were good, but I got bamboozled by that marketing. Now we're getting into what my mom and dad got me. We got some new house shoes, which like I live in house shoes. I got these Halara leggings and then some joggers from them that I'm currently wearing, as well as this Nike sweatshirt. 10 out of 10. I feel like we always do clothes for Christmas, so I got me some new Old Navy jeans. You know how whenever you turn into adult, you love to be given the adult presents because then you don't have to buy them? Santa came to town. My mom also has been on TikTok clearly and got us essentially laundry baskets, which are such a freaking vibe. I don't know where I'm gonna put this, however, it's really, really cute. Okay, so you guys know I have been rocking and rolling on the Glamnetic trend. Speaking of which, I did these yesterday. They're little snowflakes that are like cat eye that you can't really tell that have little like pearls on them. I'm really into them. So the way that we usually do Christmas in our family is that I say we as in their family, as in mostly me. It was in high school at some point. I decided to be very organized and I put all of the things that I wanted in a Google Doc for my mom. So I pretty much every year since then have been putting together wish lists. So it's kind of funny because I'm not really surprised necessarily by the things that I get, but I'm also surprised when I do get the things. But then it's really fun because then I get exactly what I want, but also people aren't like spending money on things that I won't necessarily end up using or wanting. So it works out really well. But then I always get a couple surprises here and there, or like I might leave it up to like I'll say get this pair of pants, but I won't tell them like which color or whatever. So I do end up with some surprises in here. However, I couldn't quite remember which of these I had put on my wish list, but I ended up with the black caviar, which like the OG of all of the best ones, and then the wild card, which I actually see these in store fairly often and I'm very excited about them, and then the blueberry icing, which like I have been obsessed with those. Also the French tips are the best because I feel like my nails grow fairly fast and then I don't have to look at the grow out because, you know, a clear base. Would fully recommend. And then my mom paid through PayPal. PayPal for some reason still has our old address, like from 10-year-old address in there. And so it accidentally went to that address and then it returned to sender. So then my mom called Glamnetic and was like, hi, can I switch that to priority shipping to make sure it gets here before Christmas? And they were like, yeah, we got you covered. So sweet of them. And then they were like, yeah, and in fact, we'll go ahead and throw in some extra stuff for y'all. So sweet. So then I also ended up getting the little Santa hat friendship ones. They have little Santa hats on them, and then the little gingerbread ones. So I'm set. But then they also sent some nail glue, which this is the best nail glue of all time. Do not at me. The brush on elite, the actual glue itself, perfection. However, if you're looking for a company that has really great customer service and is just like so sweet, look no further. And then something that I already cracked into, I put the Canyon Ivy printer on my wish list. I couldn't decide between this and the Sprocket, but I ended up doing this one, and I couldn't remember exactly why. And when I opened this, I was really surprised that I got a pink one because I didn't really remember putting a pink one on my wish list. And then I remembered, yeah, I chose this one over the Sprocket because I really like this pink. So I'm very excited about that. But I really love printing off pictures for my bullet journal, but I also kind of procrastinate printing off pictures for my bullet journal because I don't want to go use the big printer. Now I have a little printer and I'm so excited about it because they do actually like sticky sheet straight up. So I don't have to like faff around with changing paper out and stuff. Like this is just kind of default. I can just use the sticker paper. So this is going to be really nice and I'm so excited to start doing. I've not set up my bullet journal yet and it's coming soon, so I'm very excited to do that soon, but I have been waiting specifically to get this. So it's time. I am so excited about this. So we'll let you know if this is life-changing because I'm really hopeful that it will be. We'll find out. I thought we could try to put this on together because I want to make sure this actually fits. I kind of wanted the maroon color that they had, but they didn't have it in stock, so I went with the sage. My main question here is, Will I have to get a new case because this one currently has the pop socket on it, and I don't really want to take it off because I would probably rather just have a case with a pop socket if I feel like using a pop socket. But also I've had this one for a really long time at this point, probably could just use a new one anyways. But I'm curious if this will fit over the, oh yeah, it fits over the, oh, well, yeah, no, it definitely fits over the case. Am I into this? I might be into this. This is also kind of nice because you don't really have to hold it. Like, you kind of just stick your hand in there and it holds it. Interesting. Okay, I feel like I need to get a case that doesn't have the bumpers on it as much. But I mean, it kind of, I mean, it works. It goes on there. I just don't know if it's gonna like stretch it out weird anyways. Okay. So that is intriguing. I will test this out. I'll let you guys know the thoughts. My dad had coasters made for us with our family brand on it, and it is so yeehaw, and I kind of love it a lot. My dad finally I wouldn't necessarily call it redesigning. He had a brand forever that he just kind of like used for all of us if it ever like was relevant, which it really wasn't very often. But he decided to make one for us, which is H5 because I have, you know, my two parents and my two sisters, so it's the five of us, which is very stinking cute. My dad was really thinking about getting a tattoo, and he decided a family brand would be the coolest thing. So he kind of scribbled out some ideas, and we ended up deciding on this one, which I voted for this one in case you're curious. So like, I am the winner. Just saying. But he's obsessed. I have a car sticker. I've got a couple stickers on a couple places, and it's his favorite thing ever. Has I don't think he's ordered hats. We joked that we were gonna get him an apron, and I think for his birthday, I'm gonna have to put this on an apron for his, you know, man Blackstone business that he loves doing. He has a friend that's getting into leather work, so he made these, and then he got both of my sisters boot jacks. Oh, I didn't even update you guys on I didn't give you any context on why I put pigs in a vlog. I just kind of like put them in screaming and we didn't talk about it. So my sister, my youngest sister, she shows pigs and she has 5 of them, which is like kind of a lot, but this is her senior year, so it's her last one. Those pigs, they're they look like demons. They sound like demons. They're kind of cute. I mean, they can be cute. I clearly am a big animal person. My dad asked me if I wanted to get he was like, "Are you sure you don't want to get involved in this?" And I was like, "Can we do like show dogs instead or something?" Like pigs, I don't know. I don't know about them. But they those noises that they were making sounded like there was about to be an exorcism around the corner, and I don't know. I don't know. She's never had so many before, and every time I've seen them before, they don't like they they scream, they whine, they don't oink like cutely little pigs do. They don't do that. They scream. Like from the depths of hell, anyways, because there are so many, and it was feeding time. They all just wanted to be freaking fed, so they just started screaming, and I was like, also that times 5. It was an experience, so I thought I'd let you enjoy that experience with me. So yeah. Did Where was I going with this? Oh, but I never there we go. My dad was very heavily involved in agriculture for his entire freaking life. And then he actually was very, very close to being an ag teacher, and then he ended up not being. That was a whole other story. However, I didn't get involved in FFA 4-H or anything until I was a junior in high school. I started doing a speaking contest through FFA, which was so fun. However, because I joined junior year and I only did 2 years, I couldn't do a lot of the 4-year like scholarships, award levels, that kind of stuff. So the highest award I ever got was a green hand, even though I'm like a national reserve champion in agriculture issues. So I'm not bitter about that at all. However, middle sister now, she does horse riding lessons along with her girlfriend, and then my youngest sister shows animals. So like we do a lot of agriculture type things, and me being into cowboy romance makes my mom laugh every single time because I got a lot of obviously like soft skills, a lot of really cool opportunities because of FFA specifically, and got a lot of scholarship money, and I'm so grateful to that organization as a whole, but I never really was into the actual like I always felt it was like an all hat no cowboy kind of thing, and I was not, you know, into it, whereas my sisters are. So it's funny because now that I'm all of a sudden really aggressively into cowboy romance, apparently it's all coming full circle, and my mother won't let me live it down. Anyways, I got coasters with the family brand on it. Moving on. New sheets, which like I really needed because mine were starting to get not white anymore. Oliver and Finley, Oliver and Finley, a couple things. Oliver freaking loves Burrow toys. Zippy Paws, they have a mug that had donuts in it that is his favorite toy in the entire freaking world. They make refills. I couldn't find the donut refill until after I'd already put the cookies on there. I was like, oh, we could just refill it with cookies. He loves these little toys because they're squeaky and very teeny. So I got him a little refill. That was his Christmas gift. And then Finley's favorite freaking thing in the entire world is the Lammy. Okay. The mini one. Okay. He kind of looks like the Lammy. So it makes sense, but this is his favorite thing ever. Like I put it away so that way none of the other dogs would get it because we do have a couple dogs that would tear into this thing. So I kind of like put it away to the side and he was sniffing around at it. And I was like, I haven't even given it to you yet. You're already obsessed. So they're very excited about these. And then a couple stocking things. The best deodorant in the entire world / the best smelling deodorant, the Delicate Rose Secret. I freaking love that stuff. Random toothpaste. My favorite every year. The Hershey's Kisses candy canes. I got 2 boxes of my favorite underwear. We found an all black pack online and they don't sell these in stores, so I got 2 packs of them. So that's the story of how I got 12 pairs of underwear for Christmas. Honestly, socks and underwear is my favorite Christmas thing ever. I didn't get any socks though, because I, got 2 boxes of underwear. Thanks, Mom. We got the usual suspects, gum and a razor. I don't know where this pin came from. If my mom found it, my dad found it. I feel like it's a dad present, but also I feel like my mom probably found it and got my dad excited about it. But it's a pin, but it has like a ruler on the side of it, but it also has a stylus on the end of it, and then it has a level, which is actually the coolest pin I've ever gotten in my entire life. So I'm oddly excited about this. This is going to live at the very top of the junk drawer, and it's going to turn the junk drawer into the most purposeful drawer ever, and I'm very excited about it. I'm getting old. The Reese's candy cane, a toothbrush in a Ziploc because it came in a multi-pack. And the things I was gonna say arguably the most excited about, but realistically, I was really excited about the underwear. My favorite lotion, the EOS Fresh and Cozy. I freaking love the smell of this. And also, I needed a new hairbrush so bad, and I dropped mine and like broke it, and I've been using it for like the last 2 years with it halfway broken. But I really freaking love the Tangle teasers. So I got a fun orange colored one and I'm very excited about those. Okay, now that I've completely pulled everything out of the basket and now need to, reload it. In hindsight, that wasn't necessarily my smartest idea doing it in that order, but it's already done. I filmed a decorating for Christmas vlog video situation and I ended up never editing it. So I went on this whole like rant about how my Grammy's the best and she has been giving us every single year because she is she's kind of, well, she retired and then kind of, didn't really stay retired. But she has been a florist for many millions of years. And so she worked at a gift shop that happened to sell Heartland Creek for me. And then my sister's middle sister ended up getting nutcrackers every year. The youngest sister got snow globes, but I always got Santas. So I got a 2024 Santa and I am so obsessed with him. And then I also got some jewelry that I'm very excited to wear. But I went on this whole rampage about whenever we very first got them. I was like, okay, Santas, thanks. I freaking love them now. I love my Santas. It's been a lifelong collection, pretty much. Like I've gotten the Santas for probably at least 15 years, probably closer to 20. And I love them. Like I do have favorites among the Santas, but I really enjoyed that collection and it's fun every year getting to pull them out and like see them all again. And because I have a bookshelf, they go on the bookshelf and that's where they go. And it's just really fun. But you can kind of see some of my sister's snow globes up here. It's just a really fun tradition and I'm very excited that we have to do another year. The rumor on the block is that Grammy will no longer be doing them next year, and we're gonna have to see what that's about because I kind of was trying to play it off like, oh, I'm not disappointed. Oh, I understand. I'm a 20, will be a 27-year-old. I don't need, the yearly present from my grandmother. That I can't expect the yearly, pretty expensive usually, present from my grandmother whenever I've had literally everyone that they've ever made. I can't really complain about that. Then my sister kind of threw a fit about it, and I was like, so can we actually throw a fit about this? I was like, it's fine. I'll just buy my own one. So I'm like, maybe I'll just give the money to Grammy so that way she can, pick the one that she gets me. I don't know. We'll see. But anyways, thanks, Grammy, for my new Santa. And also thanks, Mom and Dad. I don't know that I mentioned that beforehand for, basically making all my wishes come true. Okay, so now that we've gotten all of the, because I got water all over my shirt. Is it me without something on my shirt? I don't know. And I had to break it in somehow. So I totally meant to talk about all the gifts that I gave first because that to me was so much more, I don't know, something that I just want to talk about first because I think that is, the most important part of the season. But it also is fun that we're getting to end off with things because I think that I'm so funny. Personally, I think I'm a very funny human. So, It's so lame. I am like the lamest person on the planet, and every time I think about it, I laugh about it, and then I'm like, wait, why do I think that's so funny? Like, I'm such a loser. So for Thanksgiving earlier this year, my Grammy's a big, like, West Texas matriarch who, jars and cans all the goods. She usually will do salsa, but then she also had some figs that were brought over from one of my granddad's friends. So they made this wild fig jam. Oh my gosh. This wild fig jelly is the best. I took 3 cans of it at Christmas, and then as we were leaving, Granddad was like, "Yeah, make sure to bring these jars back." And I was like, "Do you think I should just get her some jars for Christmas?" And he was like, "Oh yeah, I bet she'd love that." So I got my Grammy jars so she would make me more jelly and or hot sauce. And then HEB has a Ziploc pack that basically like fits in a drawer, but it's got a bunch of varieties of Ziplocs. They don't have an HEB where they live. Usually I would go get the Ziplocs, they'd pay me whatever, and I would next time I saw her, bring her the Ziplocs, and stay with my mom. So they were both out of Ziplocs. I bought them Ziplocs. I proceeded to wrap them. So both my Grammy and my mom got Ziplocs for Christmas, and then Grammy got jars so she could make me more jelly. Which I think is actually really funny, but also gifts like that where it's like, haha, it's actually for me, kind of. And now she doesn't have to buy jars and or Ziplocs. So gifts like that are like kind of cheesy, but now she can spend the money instead of buying those. She can buy whatever the heck she wants instead of me just kind of like guessing at a Christmas present that she would like. Those are my kind of favorite gifts. I know some people have very opinions about it, but then she got a good laugh out of it. Even if it's kind of a halfway, not even funny laugh, because apparently I'm not even that funny. But then we had a gift exchange at Grammy's house, and oh, I totally forgot about it because it's already in my car, I think. Okay, the lore of this particular gift. My Wow, we're just really chatting it up here. So I was talking with my mom about what to get my grandparents for Christmas, but then my grandmom, I wasn't really sure what to get her, but my mom had gotten a George Foreman for her, and she was like, "Yeah, you can just take that and give it to her." And I was like, "Great, cool. That's so nice of you." So then I took it home with me from Thanksgiving, and I was gonna wrap it. So my mom was talking all about how she and my dad have been using that George Foreman grill for lunch because you can just like grill up a hamburger patty, and that's that. And I was like, wow, I kind of want one of those too. So I'll get that to my grandma, but maybe I'll go get me one too. And then I get a phone call a couple days later saying, "Hey, actually, I talked to your grandma. She actually has one, doesn't use it. So you can just keep that one." Talk out a score. And I was so excited about it. And then I get a phone call a couple days later again. And this phone call is, "Hey, so we're doing a gift exchange at your grandparents' house this year. So maybe you should go ahead and wrap that, and that way you can that can be your gift for the exchange." I was like, "Okay, whatever, that's fine. I can go ahead and wrap it, and I'll go ahead and give you one later, as was originally planned." And then we get to the gift exchange, and we ended up basically doing it beer pong style. And I am terrible at beer pong. I've really never played it, and my skills with the ping pong ball are limited at best. So the way that it worked, we went youngest to oldest, and then if you missed, you basically like went around the end. So we went one round through everybody, and whoever missed, we'd go youngest to oldest again. I missed like 2 times. So on my third try, this whole time I was really kind of like, I'm really gunning for that George Foreman. So the third time, by the time the third time came around, I was like, something, anything, get me out of here. So I just kind of threw it. I got the George. I was like so dumb. So that's the story of how I got the George Foreman, though I almost didn't like 8 times. So then I found myself at Dollar Tree getting a new freaking jar for the freaking jar that I freaking broke. If you would have seen my books I'm intimidated by, I had some shells in it from traveling to some different beaches, and I knocked over the vase entirely and shattered it. So I finally went to go get a jar. And then I started looking around and I was like, my sister was talking about a gag gift to give to my middle sister, and she was like, "I really want to put googly eyes on it." And I was like, "Okay, well, what if I just like got my sister some googly eyes?" Because I, told her no. They proceeded to not have any googly eyes, but I can actually show you. My family left before we had put most of our presents away, so I put most of the presents into people's rooms, but apparently not all of them. Missed one. So I gave my 17-year-old sister stickers with googly eyes on them, which I thought was really funny. But I wanted her to have something to open because the second present that I got her was a present that she had to wait till the very end because Santa brought her an iPad, but we were doing Santa in a weird order this year, but I got her an iPad case and I didn't want her to know that she'd gotten an iPad, so she couldn't open that then. So I made her just think that this was the present. And then I started walking around Dollar Tree and I was like, wow, we can get up to some real damage here. So somebody left a container of like a 4-pack of pudding on an end cap, and I was like, I'm gonna give her some pudding. And then I kept walking. They had a bag of cereal. I'm gonna give her a bag of Cinnamon Toast Crunch. And then I was like, well, now I have to give the whole family stuff. So then I started looking around and I was like, from book club, my mom bought 2 packages of candy corn. I don't even like candy corn. I'm gonna wrap that. And then I started looking around and I was like, wow, I have 2 drink mixes that, my dad really likes this stuff. I'm gonna wrap that up for my dad. And I just started like wrapping up random stuff in my pantry. And honestly, it was good. So like would fully recommend. I think next year I'm gonna advocate for finding things in your house and wrapping them / everybody run into Dollar Tree and find something for somebody because it was so much fun. I'm just like cackling to myself. I was like, literally nobody's gonna think this is funny but me. It was great. My middle sister and her girlfriend, I didn't end up getting them anything like that because the way that it ended up working out was right after we got back from my grandparents' house yesterday. My parents and my youngest sister drove to Fort Worth to go see my middle sister, and then I stayed home and watched the dogs and then went with my friend today. So they're gonna be back here in a couple of hours. So it's kind of like all kinds of crazy. But I sent the presents for my sister and her girlfriend and my parents. Well, my mom Facebook messaged me because she's an Android user. Anyways, shame. She sent me the video of them unwrapping it, but they had put in one of those, maybe I should put the stickers down. They had put one of those vault dog food containers. So I got that. And then they have a little Diamond Art coaster set, which had I known my parents were getting the coasters, I would have gotten the wall hanging, but they'll have fun regardless. But like something little that they could like craft because they really do like crafting randomly, but they also don't have time. But my sister's she's very aggressively ADD, and so having a little project to hyper focus on that, is very small is great. So I gave them that. And then my dad, he has lost a ton of weight because he's had a big like diabetes diagnosis fairly recently, and he's lost a lot of weight recently and nothing fits him, so I got him 2 of his favorite Magellan fishing shirts. And then McKenna got a Kindle case from Paige, which was so freaking cute. They sent a bookmark in a little bag, the sweetest like packaging ever. And I'm hoping that it fits the actual Kindle that she has because I think we have the same Kindle and it fit my Kindle, but we'll find out. And then my roommate Jessie, I got her a sweatshirt that has the birth flower of her dog. I'm sure I'm missing a ton of things, but I've already been talking for like 30 minutes, so we're gonna cut this off here. But also, I will have a couple more festivity kind of things coming up, but I think we're gonna go ahead and leave it off here. But I'm gonna go home tomorrow because we have a very special delivery of another bookshelf coming that I need to, be there for. And then we also have book club next week. We're doing our Christmassy book club for the bestie group. We don't have a name for this book club, and I really feel like we should have a name because I'm always trying to describe what it is, and I'm like, so we have a group me for the book club, and then we also have a Snapchat group for the randomness so we don't like clog up the group me. The Snapchat group is literally named insert book club name here. So I think that's the official name for the insert book club name here. We're doing a Secret Santa on the 30th, so I need to figure out what I'm going to do for that. However, we'll check back in with you all in a separate vlog. Thank you guys so much for watching this one. I hope you had the absolute merriest of Christmases if you celebrate, and if not, I hope you had a really great 3 days. Just like live, laugh, love, and the 3 days in particular that I vlogged anyways, but this season as a whole is very different for a lot of people. I know this is a very, very hard time for a lot of people. So I see ya. I hope that watching this vlog for however long it ends up being after I, edit, 3 days of a lot of footage into one vlog clip. I hope that watching it has brought at least a little bit of joy to your day. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this vlog. I hope you had an amazing holiday season and continue to have an amazing holiday season. And I really appreciate you guys for spending it with me. So if you've made it this far into the video and wanted to let me know that you were here, go ahead and leave any like festive emoji. Leave like a bell emoji, or like obviously a Christmas tree emoji, or like obviously a red or a green heart, or just like make it festive in the comments down below. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you have a great rest of your day or night or wherever you are, and I will catch you in the next one.